I think rich or white people don't really care.
Because it's not their problem.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
60-year-old Leona Hasset has experienced homelessness off and on since she was 15.
I ran away from home. I couldn't stand being with my parents. So I met another hippie. He had a beautiful old abandoned home in Dunwoody. I lived there for about 2 years before they wound up tearing it down, but we never had an issue living in the abandoned home.
57-year-old Joel Kirkland has been on the Atlanta streets for the past year, and similar to Leona, his experience with homelessness goes back further than that.
I was working. I was living in a nice condo. We were splitting the rent, and I couldn't afford the rent. I have neuropathy in my feet. I'm supposed to be taking insulin 3 times a day. With the prices of the insulin, I can't afford it. Other than that, I was working, and I had to walk away.
As a society, we still don't think that housing is a right. If you think about the cost of living, it's getting higher and higher, and that's one of the reasons people lose their housing. I mean, I have a lot of safety net, and yet I don't think I'm that far from being on the street one day.
That's Professor Rusty Tchernis, who teaches homelessness policy at GSU. A major objective of his class is humanizing the homeless, as many of us in the Atlanta area witness them constantly, but few take the time to truly see them, literally.
An interview with people experiencing homelessness, and one of the gentlemen said that he did not get an eye contact with another human being for 30 days. We all think that we have enough of a safety net. From the testimonies and interviews that I've heard, it's always unexpected.
Just as we don't expect homelessness to happen to us, those on the street didn't expect it to happen to them either.
Why am I here? Why am I homeless? What the heck have I done?
Usually it's a sudden change, or in consequence of number of negative shocks, as economists call it.
2 unapparent yet major issues plague the homeless experience.
Safety is probably number one. Even people who have very little have that little taken away from them routinely.
The first time I ever got hit was down at the Catholic church. This guy was just rattling and rattling and rattling, and I got hit, and I haven't been able to hear out of this ear ever since then.
I do carry a knife. If somebody messes with me, that's it for them. You know, I've been raped twice being on the streets, and it causes a lot of problems emotionally, physically. First time it happened, I was 17, and the second time I was about 27. One time it did happen in broad daylight, then another time it was like about 7 o'clock, and it was winter, so you know it was dark. So you have a tendency not to trust many.
DTA, don't trust anybody.
The second issue is social isolation.
You know, and the way people look at us.
People look down on you.
I can understand why a lot of these people around here have bitter attitudes. I do. There's a lot of good people here, man, that deserve better.
They had some kind of a mental illness, a family breakdown. It's like, don't treat them like they're pigs or just dirt on the street. You know, some of them have some real issues. They need help.
Joel was once one of those people who needed help.
And I don't hear voices, but this little voice, kind of like in the cartoons when you have a devil on one side and an angel on the other. The devil is going, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. And I thought about walking out in the interstate in front of traffic.
Mental health services for the homeless is a dire area Tchernis hopes to see the state improve on.
And I would really like for Georgia to no longer be the second to last in a number of mental health care providers per capita like we are right now. We used to be last, now we're second to last.
For many, including Joel, the only option is to push on.
Luckily, I didn't. You know, and I got help, and I realized that that wasn't the way. I didn't need to do that. I needed to fight.
While a wider implementation of mental health services requires government intervention, there are ways to help those experiencing homelessness as an individual.
Number one is recognizing humanity in other people, regardless of the clothes they wear, how recently they've been washed, where they sleep. I would strongly recommend making an eye contact and saying, "Good day, sir," or "Hello, ma'am." You can strike a conversation. You can offer a cup of coffee. You can repeatedly say hello to the same person, maybe develop a relationship, know their name.
If you got some extra and there's a homeless person here, give him $2. Maybe you could get something to eat or get a cigarette or whatever the hell he wants, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with helping somebody.
I don't think many of those who experience homelessness expect a stranger to take them home or to find a home for them or to find them a job. But a hello is a great first step.
Indeed, many on the street expect nothing, so when given the opportunity to share a laugh,
Don't let that word "sweet" get out. It'll ruin my street credits. Street credits? No, I don't have any street credits.
or share a hug, it stands out. No matter the situation, all humans are connected through a common pursuit.
The will to want to survive.